Hey guys, what's going on? Mouse here, and today let's talk about the light team in the guild boss. But just a heads up, this is just from my initial test, but it seems like Thomas Andre is so back in the meta right now, hitting 16 billion damage while Miyeon is doing around 5 billion as the sub DPS. So why did I choose Thomas Andre over Miyeon? In this video, I'm going to share with you why, along with the full setup, everything, just like always. And with that, let's begin. So here's the main lineup. We're using support Jinwoo, and the main strategy here is just to feed Thomas Andre everything. Jinwoo on grid, Gogunhee with Desire, Akari is Guardian plus Sylph, and Thomas Andre with Iron Will and Obsidian. Now, in case you're wondering what happened to Thomas Andre, he got recently buffed. Aside from the skill multiplier buffs, the devs also shortened his ultimate cooldown to 24 seconds, which now works insanely well with the Iron Will set. Also, his passive crit rate is now 25%, which makes him way better now for guild boss and other higher level content. And moving on, team 2, Min is using Angel in White to further buff Thomas Andre along with his A5 ultimate skill damage bonus. And by the way, another reason why I'm doing this is Akari also got buffed, and her A4 now gives 5% light damage per light team member. And if I remember correctly, along with the Akari's A4 and Gogunhee's buff, also count units outside of Team A, just like what we've seen with the A4 of Isil and Lennart and other similar units. Now for the rest of the setup, Miyeon is built with Infamy, Chahae-in with Curse plus Expert. And for Jinwoo, just the standard support setup, Max Int, Cold Ice plus Vacuum Wave, and I'm using QTE Death Squall for extra break procs on grid and Collapse Surprise Attack, which also helps secure the break quickly because we're only using one breaker here. You guys can try Thunderstorm if you want. I just didn't do it here because my Jinwoo's gear isn't that good anyway to deal extra damage. And now for the cores, just make sure you are using Thief of the Watcher Spirit core on Thomas Andre, Gogunhee, and Chahae-in. Miyeon is fine without it, especially if you're using Infamy. Just watch her MP carefully, but ideally you can use it on her too if you can. Also, don't forget to use Nameless Demon for Miyeon's Mind Core because she's also an ultimate spammer at A5 with a lot of nuke damage that happens within that 8 seconds window. Now, before we go into the stats, I just want to share with you guys my initial evaluation of Miyeon. I spent a lot of hours testing her and doing theory craft. This could still change, but I'll just put it out here for now. Firstly, she's honestly a bit inconsistent in the guild boss. Sometimes the boss jumps or moves and her crystals or other skills miss. And secondly, she does not have a lot of crit rate passives right now. If you want a deeper breakdown of how crit rate works in the game, I have a video for that. You guys can check it out later. I'm gonna put a link in the description. That being said, having Min in the team does help give her a more stable crit rate, which is pretty decent, I would say. But for now, I'm still leaning towards Thomas because his damage ceiling here, just in the case of guild boss, okay, I feel like it's easier to hit, especially once I start practicing manual ultimate timing to make sure I can consistently land his ult with Moonshadow. It's just a bit difficult right now because the cooldown is too fast. I think I can practice that some other time. And also, just a few notes about the guild boss. I haven't fully tested if there were any changes in the guild boss, but I did do a spot check on the defense. It's still getting more tanky, and based on my initial runs, it still feels mostly the same, that the defense goes up as the reach goes up and the resistance to defense decrease also increases. And that's why I did not bring Baekhyunho here, because we're not stacking defense decrease anyway. So again, I have not done any full test. I'll probably just make a follow-up video after more testing just to confirm things. But so far, my stats are still performing well even with high penetration builds. So for the stats, Thomas Andre 46.5k defense, 13.4k crit rate. The recommended is probably just around 10k to 12k, 192% crit damage, 31.72% defense penetration, and about 20% damage increase. So assuming the guild boss did not change, for Obsidian set users and those with lots of damage increase from team buffs, I usually prioritize defense penetration over damage increase. But if you're not getting that much damage increase, then it's better to prioritize damage increase instead. Also, to make this work, you'll need around 4k plus MP consumption reduction, probably around 4.5k to stay above 40% MP before the fight ends. So for Gogun Hee, 40k defense, solid crit rate. Crit damage is a bit too high, but still okay, don't have choice anyway. And defense penetration and damage increase are balanced. Low defense build, but still doing good damage. For Akari, 83k HP, balanced multipliers, really nice there. Finally, Miyeon with 46.5k defense, 10k crit rate, but I think you can push 12k or even 14k. Just don't sacrifice other stats for it, or you'll end up with the same damage. Her MP is fine. She has 600 MP regen per ultimate at A1, and she's using Infamy. And lastly, Chae-in crit damage is a bit too high. I might switch some course later once I get the resources for that. And 46.5k attack, good multipliers, and MP consumption reduction. So I won't go over the full rotation here anymore. It's the same old support Jinwoo playstyle. You can check my previous videos for a detailed rotation guide in case you're new here. And with that, let's take a look at the replay.